As I like to say in the video biz, we'll fix that in post.
You're right.
Which I hate because I'm like that.
Why do you think I have so much B-roll that I film?
Oh, jeez! It's cheater.
It's not for it's not for the artistic value. It's to cover all the screw ups.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Before we kick off today's show, I want to thank Michael Schwartz and the San Diego County Gun Owners and Gun Owners Radio for letting us use their stagecoach. They are brave people, and they drove from San Diego to Las Vegas for the SHOT Show. And I'm so fortunate to have friends like this because they let me borrow their vehicles. So it's nice to be trusted by people. So thank you, Michael, for letting us use your stagecoach, or as you call it, your jalopy, which is like a fancy big red Chevy truck. So we thank you for letting us use this, man. This is greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, please hit like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when new shows drop. And thank you guys for tuning in the show. If you like the show, if you enjoy it, if you get something out of it, please share it with your friends, because that is how we get the stagecoach across America. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Today we are coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I have Jason Schaller with me from the Rogue Banshee YouTube channel and for the Love of Guns podcast. Jason, thank you so much for being on the show.
It's great to have you. Yeah, great to be here, and it was great having you online.
Yes, I get to be. I don't know if this is good or bad, but whoa, is this an electric car?
No. I think it's gas.
Oh man, because it is quiet. I love that I get to be a guest on other people's shows. Everybody wants to be a guest on my show, and I'm like, oh, we got a plan. We got a plan. We got to figure. It is a thing. It is a thing, and I like that it's a thing. Thanks, man. I like that it's a thing, and I dig it. So rock and roll. You're in. So this is pretty funny. Here's some inside baseball stuff. So a couple years ago, does he have a stop or not?
I think so.
I don't know. Is he stopping for the people?
They're waving you through.
They're waving us through. Okay.
It's Vegas.
It's Vegas. It's Vegas, baby. Vegas. All right. He's stopping. We're going. Hopefully, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, like a speeding ticket. Oh, this guy's pulling out. So John Petrolino, our good friend, was doing a show at his house, and he was doing a show. You were doing a show with him,
yep.
And then he's like, "Hey, you want to get Charlie Cook on the show?" You're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, he's right here."
Because it was funny because his internet dropped during my recording, and then when he came back, it was I had being the smartass that I am, I had this comment of him, and then all of a sudden he looks off camera and he repeats it, and I'm like, oh crap, someone's in the room, right? so we quick pick up the podcast, finish it, and he goes, hey, you know Charlie Cook? I go, man, I love Charlie Cook, and yeah, I'd love to have him on the podcast. He goes, he's in the room with me, and I'm like,
hang on a second.
And I'm like,
wait, what?
Charlie got to see Jason unplugged.
I love it, man. I love it.
So yeah, it was funny because I'm like, you're kidding me, right? He goes, no, Charlie and I are like we're good friends.
Really tight, right? For a couple summers ago, we were calling his house my summer house.
So
it was for the first. Oh man, this sounds ridiculous. For the first year and a half, and I'm trying to downplay it, right? Be a little more conservative. But I think for the first year and a half, every time he was home for a month, I would like go down and visit him, or somehow we would see each other somewhere, whether it's gun rights policy conference or SHOT Show, or whatever, some sort of event. Like we'd see each other every couple of months. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, because I think you guys hit Great American
Outdoor Show. We've done that a couple of times. We're actually doing 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 that a couple of times Yeah. So this was really fun. This is geeking out over ridiculous stuff.
This is what happens when you get two podcasters together to talk about stuff.
Right? So I'm going to say it was 3 years ago, Trump came and spoke at the Great American Outdoor Show. And we were able to get in as press. And I was able to put up my little GoPro cameras up against where the national TV shows have their big cameras.
Nice.
And it's, they get these big, huge cameras that are like the size of a couch. And I got my little GoPro and a little tripod.
Well, so it's funny because you use GoPros and I use cell phones.
It's probably easier for you.
Well, it's easier to pack. And the thing is nice is that when one goes down, I got another one in my bag. They're easy to pack.
So much easier,
and they're a lot cheaper to replace with old cell phones laying around the house.
This is true. This is true.
But yeah, no, it's funny because I had an issue where, I don't want to say issue, an incident where it's like, I'm filming.
Speaking of filming.
Yeah.
We
lost.
We lost. Yeah. We're going to pull over here. How did you, I don't even know how did you become a gun guy? Where did you grow up? How did you become a gun guy?
So I grew up outside of Philly.
Okay.
I grew up in Bensalem. And really, I've been shooting since I was like 7.
Wow.
So I started off young.
Yeah.
I started off on, my father started me off on BB guns and then went up to 22s and 357.
That escalated quickly.
And I got my first gun when I was 10. I still have that gun.
And you still have it?
I still have it. I have my second gun too, which I got when I was 11.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I had an 870 Wingmaster for a shotgun. It was a leftover from a police department, so it had an 18-inch barrel. And I was going out Wednesday. I was going out Wednesday nights shooting trap with an 18-inch barrel cylinder bore shotgun.
Oh my gosh!
And
you still kept on shooting.
I still kept shooting, and then my first rifle, which was after that, was my Winchester Model 94, which I conveniently. Well, actually, both of those guns have been taken apart on the channel.
Oh, that's cool.
To show people how to do it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so no, I started off young and, growing up in Pennsylvania, up in the Poconos, heading up there for camping and stuff. And
yeah,
it grew when I was a kid. And then, you start getting older and you start, finding girls and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's funny how that happens, right? Then you start to lose your interest in other stuff.
And then, God, we moved to Maryland. And on my 21st birthday, I went out and bought a Glock.
Wow.
Bought a Glock 17. And then inside the Tupperware was this thing for GSSF. I had no idea what GSSF was. And I checked it out because, when I was thinking competition shooting, like Bianchi Cup. And I'm like, yeah, that's just not me. And that was my introduction into competition shooting.
Really?
That. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So that's where it all kind of went there. And then, the Clintons got in office and bought ARs and AKs and all the stuff that they didn't want you to have.
I love it. You became a gun guy, grew up. How does it lead to, how long did you do competitive shooting?
Off and on for a while. So my father died in the mid 90s. I like to say the Clintons killed him, but because he used to get so pissed off with all the gun bans and stuff like that. But
yeah,
it was kind of off and on. I got into GSSF, then I got him into GSSF, and then I started branching off to like USPSA. Actually, so it was IPSC back then. And then my father, when he passed away, he was like my shooting partner.
Oh man!
So I kind of lost it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of
it takes the fun out of it. For sure.
It took the fun out of it. And then years later, I get married and I bought my wife a Glock, and so she started competing with me. And then, but it just wasn't the same, and she really didn't have her heart into it. But she enjoyed it, but it wasn't her thing. So I just went solo, and so it's been kind of on and off. And right now with the busted up knees and stuff, it's a little hard to compete, but
yeah,
I still do it every once in a while.
Cool.
Now it's more 3-gun because I did a little 3-gun, but now it's a little more steel challenge because I don't have to move so much. But it's fun.
Cool.
So that was the competing stuff, and then it's funny going into the YouTube stuff. I was in FFL for 10 years.
Real, like a kitchen table FFL?
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
It was funny because I started doing Cerakote work, and charging somebody $50 to take their gun apart, put it back together was not worth my time. So I started doing disassembly and reassembly videos. Here's a video of how to take your gun apart. Now bring it to me and I'll Cerakote it, and then I'll send it back. You can go put it together. And
that's wild.
So that's how we started doing the channel. And the funny thing is people ask me that I get, what's a Rogue Banshee?
Yeah, what is a Rogue Banshee?
So what a Rogue Banshee is we had a dog named Banshee, and she passed away about 13 years ago. So about 12 years ago, we got another dog. And we named her Rogue. And we swear that Rogue is Banshee reincarnated.
Really?
The mannerisms and everything, completely different breed. They never met each other. There was a whole year where one had died and the other, before the other one was born. We swear, to the point where my wife goes, she went up, she goes, "You're Banshee," and then Rogue just looks up and just starts licking her.
Whoa!
So it's freaky. So when we came up with the YouTube channel, that's how we came up with the Rogue Banshee. It's two of our dogs.
That's cool. I had a friend who's when we were junior high and high school, they had a dog, and the dog's name was Rags.
Okay.
And when Rags passed away, they got another dog and named it Riches.
Oh, Rags to Riches. That's awesome.
That is pretty funny. You got the dog. That's how you got the name for the Rogue Banshee. Thank you, ma'am. And that's how you started your YouTube channel, by taking guns apart. And this was just essentially to send to your customers to say, hey, before you bring your gun for me to Cerakote,
just to take your gun apart, and then when you get it back, you can put it back together.
Do you have some sort of mechanical background? Are you handy? Because I failed at auto shop working on a lawnmower engine when I was in high school. So
I was always just good at figuring things out.
Yeah.
So I just figured things out. Now, if anybody knew that when I was a kid, everybody knew that when I was a kid, I took everything apart and put it back together.
Yeah.
What fortunately my customers did know at the time was when I was a kid and took things back together, I always ended up with extra parts. I could have saved Huffy millions of dollars of extra screws from their bikes because it still worked.
It still worked. So one of my buddies, he's a motorcycle guy. He's not a Harley guy. He's a motorcycle guy. I got a friend that's a Harley guy, and I got a friend that's a motorcycle guy. And the motorcycle guy his wife used to say that he was working on motorcycles all the time and ends up with extra parts. And I'm like, that's not encouraging, man, because you're driving some sort of a vehicle. And of course, he's a motorcycle guy. He likes to drive pretty quickly. So that's a little nuts.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What were we going to do? Kill yourself?
Right. There's that. All right. I never know which roads are roads and which roads lead to parking lots.
Yeah, because that's a road, but it's a parking
It goes
garage.
right to a parking lot. Crazy. All right. So this is how you started your YouTube channel. You got the name Rogue Banshee, and you just started taking guns apart. When did it start to grow? Like what did you do to start to get things to take off?
Honestly, so my content's all educational.
Yeah.
It's not that one thing happened, although I hate to say this, when political turmoil hits, people were hitting my videos. I started expanding out into like the 80% realm. Ooh. And so I had the first video of the P3, the 80% P320 and how to make the P320. And then that grew into Polymer 80. And then I had one of the first Polymer 80s out there. And then Marine Gun Builder comes and starts doing really good polymer videos. So I'm like, cool, he can take that torch and run. And I talked to him, we know each other. We talk to each other.
Yeah.
So I was happy he picked that torch up and ran. But so when the whole frame and receiver rule hit, because of that content, the channel started taking off because now everybody wanted to build it because they might not be able to build them anymore.
Right.
And so I hate to say it was really political turmoil is what grows the channel. And, and then that becomes evergreen content. So it just, when I put I put a video out on January 1st, which was actually the 8th anniversary of my first video.
Wow.
And it was a Dan Wesson 44 that I bought at an estate sale. So I did that, and it's a niche gun, but it's one of those things is that my videos they're a slow burn. So they'll get, a few hundred views, and if it's a popular gun, it explodes.
Right.
Dan Wesson's that's a very niche gun, so it's not going to be a high performer.
Right.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, I hate to say it, it's just that's how it happens. And one of the things that makes it such that people like is that when I write the content for people, it's not. I mean, it's technical content, but I write it to the average person. I actually have an avatar that I write to. So I have an avatar of the average person that consumes the content.
The person you want to absorb your stuff or watch your show.
And it's funny because we call him Joe, and it's not really super mechanically inclined, but he's interested, and that's how we write the content. So that way, the average person can work on their firearm.
Well, I'm going to say I am the less than average person. So I got a pathetic story. My son has a SIG 365. I have a 365 XL, and he's got big hands. I found a Wilson Combat frame, XL size, and I was going to put my son's fire control unit into that. And I watched the video on it a dozen times. It looks super easy. I said, all right, I'm going to try this. So I got out my Glock tool. I popped out the one pin that you have to pop out for the 365. And I pulled out the fire control unit and I took a look at it. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. Don't mess with it, Charlie. I put it back in my own frame and it didn't fit.
So the 365 is actually a pretty unique animal with that.
Oh, geez, here we go. This is the selling point that these guys are supposed to be easy to do.
You should have watched my video on the P365.
I should.
It's a unique animal. Is that it's a little, that fire control unit is a little tight inside that frame. The 320 was an easier frame to do. The 365's just got a little more tighter tolerances, and you just kind of got to fudge, and all of a sudden it just snaps in.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm not trying.
Even I don't like. So I have a 365 and a 365. So funny story about how I got mine. They were literally the two last guns on my A&D book when I turned in when I decided to close the business, and so I went shopping. So they were the last two entries on my A&D book.
Gotcha.
Was the XL and the 365 and the XL.
All right. So real quick, you had a countertop FFL business?
Yeah. So I worked
cool.
everything out of my house, and there were some challenges with that.
Whoa, speaking of challenges, the damn camera popped off. All right, we're pulling over again. We're just going to take it off and be done with it. All right, so you get the FFL. It was the last two guns that you had. So let me finish my story, my pathetic story with the 365. I put it in a piece of Tupperware, and I left it in the Tupperware. And every 3 days, I'm like, all right, I gave myself the pep talk. Okay, Charlie, you can do this. You can put this thing back together. And I'd mess with it again.
Passenger pickup.
Passenger pickup. I would do it again, and then something else popped out, and I'm like, all right, I am officially done. And I had to I had to buck up and call the gunsmith and say, I'm an idiot. I was trying to do this. He's like, you don't do that. I'm like, I know, but they're supposed to
Just
make it
keep
easy.
going over.
Keep moving left.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's supposed to be easy, and it's not. And
Keep going. Follow that car.
follow
Kia.
that one. Oof.
And stay in the left lane.
Are we tall? Are we too tall?
Nope, we got
Nope. Are we too tall again?
it. No, you're good.
And I had to buck up and take it to the gunsmith, and he's like, you have to promise me not to do this again. I said, I promise.
See, but you've got my cell phone number. You should have just called me.
I know, but I'm like, I don't want to admit to you that I don't know what I'm doing.
It's all good. That's why I create videos. So basically, you're going to go straight through. You don't want to go to those gates where that SUV is.
Okay. This is always an adventure.
You see, I used to drive down here every year for SHOT, and then I'd pick people up here.
Ah.
So that's why I was like, that's good.
Gotcha. Well, this guy's slowing down.
He's looking for someone.
I hope Michael Schwartz has insurance. Kidding, Schwartzy.
Yeah, just keep going. And then what it'll do is we can get out this way.
Okay, very cool. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
All right, so you're working on your 365. You got your last two guns out of your A&D, which is what, acquisition and
acquisition and disposition.
Okay. Airport exit.
Yep. And then just follow that SUV right there.
Straight.
No, follow that SUV right there. That Expedition.
All right. So the 365s were the last ones you had.
Yep.
And that was it. And then you closed up shop.
We closed up shop, and it was funny because usually, like the kitchen table gunsmith and FFLs, they there's not a lot of paperwork. So when the ATF came to pick up my logbook and all my 4473s, like, okay, and I had a little banker's box of it, and they're like, okay, and I go, oh wait, there's more. And she's like, okay, and so I keep pulling these banker boxes out. And just you work your way to the left.
We're gonna make our way to the left. All right.
And then
Jesus, really is a hit parade over here, man.
So we were sitting there going, she's like, we don't see, you don't see the home FFLs do this much traffic. And she was looking at the logbook, and she's like, you were doing 2.3 guns a day.
What?
Yeah, my logbook I was doing 2.3 guns a day over 10 years.
So I
was doing a lot of business.
A lot of business. This was a nice little side gig.
So yeah, it was. Well, it was funny because all the firearm transfers, they were paying for the YouTube channel at the time. That's how I financed the YouTube channel.
Perfect.
So then then when that went away, it was a little tough on the YouTube channel at that point. But
right.
But no, it's but yeah, she was surprised at how many guns I was running, and she was the agent that did my interview. I go, because one of the questions she asked, she goes, well, why do you want an FFL? And I go, well, I want to retire. She goes, well, you got a long time to retire. And I go, I have a long time to build a business to retire. And,
boom.
And so she goes, you were doing 2.3 guns. You were moving a lot of guns. I go, I told you when I got my license, I was working for my retirement. She's like, yeah, yes, you did.
Right.
So,
what were you charging people for the?
So if you had
for the transfers,
it was $20 for a transfer.
Okay.
If you had your concealed carry permit, it was $15, because I didn't have to do the next background check on you.
So you live in one of those free states where you have a permit, you don't have to do the background check.
So in Montana, if you had your concealed carry, no background check.
That's interesting, because where I live, there's a background check every time for every gun, as well as 2 background checks when you get your license to carry. Right, and I and this is the Stockholm syndrome that is Massachusetts and occupied territory states, as I call them. Once you get used to that, you go to somewhere else and you're like, wait, I don't have to do a background check? Is this little card that says I've already done a background check means I already passed a background check? Yeah. Oh, I can just buy this and do the 4.473 and then, you know, walk out. Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, we don't have waiting periods either.
We don't have a waiting period. Well, the time it takes to do the background check, right?
So, yeah, so for us, we go walking in and, you know, we put our concealed carry permit down, fill our 4473. I sign off, they sign off, and change money, and you're gone.
You give them a gun, they give you cash, they walk home. God, that sounds so easy.
It is.
It really sounds so easy.
And then it's the advantage of a free state.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. All right. So, do things change? So you do a little bit of gunsmithing too, right?
Yeah.
I watched one video a couple of years ago where you were taking a Winchester lever action apart and like soaking it and cleaning it out.
That was the fire damaged one.
Yes. Yeah. That was the one.
So I was walking through a gun show, and I stop and I see these. And by the way, that's only one of like 4 that I bought that day.
Oh my gosh.
So there was literally a 5-gallon bucket of Winchester sticking up out of it. And he wanted $300 for it. And I go, wow, 300. I don't know about
$300 for a gun out of a
3. It was 4 guns.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, I don't know about that. How about 150? He's like, all right, I go $100. How about 150? Like,
wow.
Right? I walked off with a bucket
for 4 guns.
Well, they're fire damage. They're destroyed.
Okay.
So,
gosh, yeah.
So,
$300 for 5 guns that can't work is a lot of freaking money.
It is.
Yeah.
So I got them for 150, and then that's one of them. That was the Winchester Golden Spike.
Yeah.
So that was soaking the gun, and it was lots of times because that action was all seized up, and I got it working, but it's not fireable because of the fire damage because you lose the heat. The heat screws up the temper of the metal, so it's unsafe to fire. Yep. Even though there are people out there that do that, I'm like, no,
not a good idea. Yeah.
So that one gun cost me about $600 to restore. So it was an expense. I mean, you buy a new one for $600.
Where's your break-even point?
Right. It was funny because the Golden Spike has a golden receiver, and I remember looking at that going, all right, I could get this thing plated, but again, I'm in this gun for almost $600. I don't want to spend the money on plating it, and so I ended up Cerakoting it. I had a discussion with Cerakote on it. I'm like, hey, you know, I told him about the gun. I'm like, you know, it kind of had a mirror shine because it's a Golden Spike, and they're like, yeah, you can't do that with Cerakote. You could powder coat it, but then I'm like, it's a whole new skill I got to learn now. Yeah, just order me up a bottle of this. I just sprayed it. I caught a little bit of crap about that. It's funny because that video is 2 years old now. I was just looking at it today. It's got 243,000 views on it.
Wow.
And it's fun to read the comments because there's people like, good for you, and there's like, why did you ever do that? Like, it's fun to watch the comments of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did that. And the funny thing is there's 2 others that I'm making one gun out of. Well, I've been doing it for 2 years now. I just haven't gone back to them. And but yeah, so there's other Winchesters in there that eventually will.
We're getting on Paradise North.
We are.
All right.
So yeah, so that was actually a fun project.
That's cool.
That was a really fun.
How long did it take to not make the video, but the process to?
Oh, we were talking that first soak. God, I think it was like 40 or 60 hours of soaking and then resoaking. And it's funny because the new, I don't say the new, but the other Winchesters coming in behind it that I got to finish the video, I changed the way I did the rust. So rather than soaking in that, I did, I'm going to screw it. It's kind of like electrolysis. So I have it sitting in a tub that I made a solution in. I took construction rebar, bent it up. I put I put a car battery charger on, put one lead onto the gun, the other one onto the rebar, and what it does is it takes the rust off the gun and transfers it to the rebar. And again, they were in the exact same fire. Those guns I did in like hours instead of days.
Jeez, that's pretty wild.
So yeah, so there's more of that content eventually coming, but that's fun.
That is cool. That is cool. So did you take the channel, and first of all, did you have the plan for the channel originally was to take guns apart, put them back together so that people could bring the guns in for Cerakote. You got into some other sort of stuff too with the channel, right?
Yeah, so
like
it
veers off into another direction.
Yeah, I started doing, reviews and things like that because it's the thing it's almost like you're expected to do it.
Oh, totally. I tell people what I do. I'm like, I have a YouTube channel called Riding Shotgun with Sean. Well, I'm sure you'd appreciate some of the guns that you're reviewing.
And it's funny so I actually stopped doing the reviews. The reviews were getting me channel strikes because I'm selling a gun, and
that's ridiculous.
So I kind of did that. I'm going back to the beginnings, but then the podcast came about.
Yeah,
and there really was. I always knew I wanted to do a podcast even before I had a YouTube channel. I always wanted to do a podcast,
right?
And then I had I just started talking because I think the first video was like the 10 things I learned, when I got my FFL as a gunsmith, and it's kind of like the little dirty secrets that the public doesn't really know, and it's not necessarily dirty secrets of like being an FFL, but it's like, hey, if you buy multiple handguns, did you know that you get reported for that? Right. Doesn't matter what state you're in, we got to fill out this form. And it goes to the Leo, and it goes to the ATF.
Interesting.
So and the funny thing is it doesn't go to my Leo; it goes to your Leo. So if you're in the next county over, I got to send it to your sheriff, not my sheriff. Oh my gosh. So I got to tell your sheriff that you bought multiple handguns.
That's
so
I gotta say that's a little ridiculous.
It is. So and then I got into interviews because the one thing I have is the funny thing about my last name. So I'm going to go into the Toastmaster stuff. Yeah, I love me some Toastmaster stuff. So I used to do public speaking for my day job. Yeah, and Schaller is a German name, and it stands for ones who is a talkative person. So if you ask any of my family, it's true. That's cool. So I used to get that 1 o'clock spot where everybody's falling asleep. And I go, hey, look, Schaller is German for one who's a talkative person, and I have a captured audience for the next 50 minutes. So long story is that I like to talk. And I like having conversations. Yeah. So that's really where it is. And, I have people talking, and they're like, well, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, you. And they're like, me? I'm like, you're the expert of you, right? I say that so many times. When I was much more active in Toastmasters, people would come in and they'd have to do their icebreaker speech. Yep. And they would say, well, what do I say for an icebreaker speech? I'm like, icebreaker speech. And I would say, you're telling us about you. You're an expert in you. You tell us what you want to know. It can be true. It can be false. It doesn't matter. It's just getting up and speaking and breaking the ice to get used to standing in front of people and talking. Yeah. So that's really what it is. It's having a conversation, which is why I love watching your show, because we're kind of the same thing. It's a conversation. Yeah. And really where the conversation goes is up to you. Totally. I dig it, man. And it's called the Love of Guns podcast? Yeah, For the Love of Guns. For the Love of Guns. Yeah, that was it's funny how I got that name was I smashed my hands. I was like, for the love of God. It's like, yeah, for the love of guns. That's great. So that's how I got the name of that. Is actually I hurt my hand. So how often do you put shows out? So sorry, let me go back. How often do you put podcasts out? So it's been really weak over the last year. So last year, well, I say last year, it was really the end of 24, YouTube started taking the podcast down. So I got a channel strike for an interview I did with Mia Anstein talking about outdoor mentorship for women. A channel strike.
That's ridiculous.
And they took that and like 20 other podcast episodes down. And
all right, hold on. So you put the show out as a podcast or as a YouTube or both?
Both.
Okay.
So it was the video, and then I'd rip the video off and send it out to Apple and iTunes. And
do you is it two different YouTube channels, or is it all?
No, it's all. It was all in one.
Okay.
Because I was like, it's me, to come to me. And there was some, hindsight. I probably would have done it differently, but what
are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? So every day they were taking 30 episodes a day down.
Whoa.
So it was, 180 episodes. So it got a little disheartening, right?
Yeah.
And then I did a couple episodes in 25, but then there was other funkiness with YouTube. And YouTube just was, for a while there, they were keeping 2 channel strikes on the channel at all times, just waiting for that third.
Jeez.
So, I had a lot of clean, so 25 was fighting to keep the channel going. And people like, just give up. I'm like, but
just give up.
I don't want to.
Right. For, like we talked about, you were telling me before that your wife is like, if you're going to get a part-time job,
get one that pays.
Get one that pays, right? Like, we're not making any money here, honey. I'm gonna buy 5. I'm gonna buy 5. I'm gonna buy 4 or 5 rifles for $150, and then I'm gonna put $600 into one of them.
Yeah.
Right. So, for me, it's honestly, for me, it's the enjoyment of talking to people and making a connection with people and all of that sort of stuff. And I see it. I see it when I come to SHOT Show or NRA or, sometimes Great American Outdoor Show and certainly Gun Rights Policy Conference when people stop and say hi, and I'm talking with one person, somebody pops over and just says hi, and it's all that kind of stuff that doesn't pay the rent, but to me there's equity in that because people know who you are, people like you, people enjoy your show, people are, all this stuff. But it doesn't pay any bills. So and why would you stop it? I'm not going to stop. I haven't had any sponsorship. Anything that I've done, all the travels, I've been to 37 states to film shows, all out of my pocket, all directly, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay for this? How do I pull this trip off? How do I film a show here? How do I fill in the blank? I love doing it and I want to keep doing it. So I'm going to keep doing it. So this is why you're not going to, when YouTube's taken off, show after show after show, you're like, I'm going to keep doing it.
Well, so it was funny because I had some sponsors for the show. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was not really a lot of money, and it wasn't really worth the sponsorship. But it's okay, it's great that I had some people that were willing to give me some money for the show. Yeah, and it was ultimately the sponsors is why YouTube was taking them down. Because
what?
Yeah.
They were taking it down because you had sponsors?
Yep, because I had Ammo Squared was a sponsor.
Yeah.
So I'm selling ammo.
Oh my gosh.
And Gideon Optics was a sponsor. I'm selling optics. So I went to the guys. I'm like, look, guys, I'm sorry.
All right.
I got to stop. Yeah. Right. And they understood. It was very understanding. Still friends with all these people. Mm-hmm. And it's, so I went, screw it. It's going to be unsponsored and I'm just going to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And, so, and through all the fighting to keep the channel running, I didn't have time to do podcasts. I didn't have time to do content. So they essentially shut me down. And now we're through the craziness, and now it's okay. How are we spinning this back up again? Let's get back to it. So the content schedule, I just don't know yet. But through being here at SHOT, I've got a lot of people, and I was talking to people who've been in the podcast before, and hey, when you were on last time a couple of years ago, there was a little sidebar here that we kind of went down. Would you mind coming back and let's talk about that? And like, yeah, let's do it. So now we're starting to spin the podcast back up, and we're not giving YouTube any place to go to take it down.
Cool. I have absolutely no idea where we're at.
Make a left. Yeah.
No way. I'm looking for the high roller, and I don't even see it.
It's over there because that's the Strat. So the high roller's that way.
Gosh.
We should be coming up on the strip.
Oh my gosh! This is a riding shotgun with Charlie first. This is the most I've ever been lost.
And it's funny, this is not even my town, but it's just like I'm looking around, and the only reason why I know the Strat's over there, not the Strat, the high roller's over there, is because I saw it earlier. You're looking around, and I'm trying to figure the waypoints out.
This is good. This is good teamwork because most people don't pay any attention.
Well, I grew up in Philly, in Houston City.
Oh my gosh.
But
I
no.
thought we got back on the same road we were on, and I'm looking at this, and we weren't, or we aren't, or
we get turned around because you see, there's Paradise.
I thought we were on Paradise,
there's
but we're on
Las Vegas,
Paradise North.
but there's Las Vegas Boulevard, so that's the strip.
Gotcha. All right.
So
Oh my goodness.
it's great that they have the GPS in the truck.
We want to thank you, Michael Schwartz, for getting the car with the GPS in the truck. This is why you're the best, Bill.
You see, he offered because he knew you were going to get lost.
This is true. I mean, before I've done shows here, I just get on the strip, I go up, I turn around, I go back. It's easy. Now we're going to the airport.
We went to the airport. Yeah.
A couple of pit stops, camera problems, battery issues.
A couple of homeless encampments along the way.
We're driving in the Chaz. Oh, so Paradise is where we should have been, or should go, or could have turned.
You could have, but just go up. Just go. We'll just go down the strip.
Let's go down the strip.
That'll take
Much
us another
more
half hour to go
Right.
2 miles.
All right, this is the strip.
Yes.
This is it. All right.
But yeah, so we're slowly trying to
Slowly working our way back. Back to the Venetian. All right, so they're taking shows down. You're going back. You're reconnecting with folks, and bringing the pod back.
Bring the pod back because I'm one who's a talkative person, so I got to talk.
I gotta talk.
And
Absolutely.
that's like, it's funny because when you sent me the text last night, you want to be on. I was recording a podcast. And I'm like, hey, I get to talk. Charlie wants me to talk. Yeah.
How do I write?
Again, you gave me a captured audience for 50 minutes.
Absolutely.
But no, it's good. So for me, one of the things I have, and both of us have been through Toastmasters, and it's really my general thought is that we've lost the art of communication.
Oh my God, absolutely.
We can't talk to each other anymore. And there's an If you're a Toastmaster, you understand the joke.
I'm going to give you a grammarian report.
There you go. You're gonna go through this and go. You had three ums, 4 ahs.
Right, a couple of yos. Oh my gosh.
But that's the thing I like about the podcast is it's getting back into communicating. Mm-hmm. Talking to people and having that conversation. I enjoy that.
Yeah, that's cool. And what are you doing with the Rogue Banshee, the gun stuff?
So the gun stuff, so all the old content that got taken down is slowly coming back. And
Really?
It's coming back as policy compliant. So funny thing is walking over to meet you today, I got pulled aside into a booth and guy, just talking about this new thing. And then I got talking to him and then he's like, well, you have a YouTube channel? I go, yeah. And we get talking about the disassembly and reassembly. I go, yeah. I go, but the content's coming back as deep cleaning. He goes, I know who you are, right? I'm like, he goes, yeah. He goes, so my son comes up, he goes, what's deep cleaning? It's because it's just something I made up.
Right.
So disassembly and reassembly of a firearm is allowed on YouTube for cleaning and maintenance. So we take the gun apart and clean every part of the gun.
Oh my God.
And now it's policy compliant. So that video that I launched on January 1st was, again, the 8th anniversary video of my first video.
Mm-hmm.
And when I uploaded it, it took them 5 days to review the video before they turned it green.
Really? Huh.
So they were looking, and again, I had 2 strikes on the channel already.
Right. This is.
So this would have been it. And so when it released, one of the strikes fell, but they could have taken the channel before I even released it. And I rolled the dice. I knew this day was coming, so I had played with deep cleaning in the past. So when the day came that they started taking the stuff down, like, all right, it's now, because I'm not going to take a video down with a couple million views.
Yeah.
To put one up, you just let it run, and I'll take the hit on the strike, and then I'll do it. I just didn't expect all the strikes to come at once. So it's coming back as deep cleans. We're gonna show you how to deep clean your firearms now.
Deep cleaning with Jason Schaller.
That's right, dude. That could be a show.
It could be a show. And you can sit here and talk and talk about all this other stuff. It's nonsense and make you feel good about yourself, and then put the gun back together.
There you go.
That's pretty cool, man. That is a way around it.
So
which is awesome.
I mean, that's the whole thing. My day job is I do cybersecurity for my day job. Mm-hmm. It's all about, my job is a lot of negotiation of how we secure things and balancing business things out. But it's also a lot of figuring out what the rules are and when you can bend them, when you can break them, and when to defend them. So
that's pretty cool.
So really, it's again, it's my Huffy bike. It's just with YouTube policy. I just took YouTube policy apart, put it back together.
Very strategic. I dig it, man. I dig it. All right, so you're back on that. The podcast is coming out. This is great. This is like your
rebirth.
Yeah, like rebirthing. It's not necessarily rebranding, but maybe a little bit of rebranding-ish.
Well, the kind of the cool thing is that I'm going back to the beginning of the channel. Mm. And it's kind of exciting again, because that's what the channel was. I dropped the reviews because that was creating problems. However, I'm still doing product reviews. I'm just doing it on the Square reviews now. So
very cool. The Square reviews. Everyone ought to check that out. thesquarereviews.com. That is run by our good friend John Petrolino. I may have mentioned his name once or twice before. Okay. He started that about 2 years ago.
Yeah, so he called me up because, hey, I'm starting this website, and I'm like, man, I'm not really a writer, and he's like, I just need a little bit of help here and there, and I'm like, okay, and I felt sorry. Those first reviews, I felt sorry. I'm like, John, man, I hope you're a good editor, because I'm not a good writer.
Yeah.
And so, John's teaching me how to write now. Through doing the reviews, and I see how he's editing them, and I'm learning AP, how to write AP style. And
oh my gosh, you know what he always gets me on?
What's that?
The periods go inside the quotes. I do it all the time.
So what I get now is my headings is what's supposed to be capitalized and what's not.
Oh yeah.
Because when I write, I capitalize every word. And he's like, no. The nouns gets capitalized. I'm like, okay.
Right.
What's an adjective?
This is a true story. This is how ridiculous, stupid I am. I applied for a job, a teaching job, and I went in, and I'm being interviewed by 4, 5, 6 people, and there's parents and PT, parent-teacher group, and the principal, and the counselor, whatever. All these people are there, and they're like, Charlie, can you give us 5 adjectives about yourself? And I'm like, conjunction,
function.
I'm going through all the Schoolhouse Rock songs. Lolly, 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 get your adjective. And I can't remember the one for adjectives. And I'm like, I don't know what an adjective is. And so I'm like, people think I'm encouraging. And
so here's a funny story about, you brought up Schoolhouse Rock. When I had 5 senators get a little upset about my 80% content. Wrote a letter to YouTube, take it down. Like, I woke up one morning, and then all of a sudden, hey, where did all these views disappear? I didn't understand. And then one of my buddies calls me up and goes, dude, have you read the letter? I'm like, what letter? He goes, a letter about you. I'm like, letter about me? And they're like, yeah, the senators wrote YouTube. And I read the letter, and I'm like, oh, that's what happened. So then I was kind of stewing a little bit about this, and a few months later, I had Diana Muller on the podcast.
Yeah, welcome to Diana Muller. And
we were talking in the after chat, and we were talking a little bit about this, and she goes, well, what'd you do? I go, well, I wrote my two senators, and the Democrat did nothing, the Republican did about that much more. And
he did almost nothing.
Almost nothing. He gave me a staffer that was giving tours of the Capitol building that I could never get to her because she was always giving tours of the Capitol building.
Geez.
So basically, thanks, but I'm not going to give you any time.
Yeah.
She goes, hey, your attorney general loves to sue the federal government. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm kind of fed up with this thing.
Right.
So I end up writing my AG. A week later, I get a call from one of his staffers. He's like, hey, is this a video? Because they found it, I uploaded to like Odyssey and stuff like that. And I go, yeah, that's the video. He goes, okay. It disappeared for like another week, and I get a call, and he goes, okay, I'm going to send you the pre-release of the letter that we're writing to YouTube. I'm like, okay. He goes, now this isn't going to help any. I go, it just can't go unanswered. So, he's going through this thing, and he's talking about that I didn't break any laws. And if I had broken laws, these 5 senators would have sent this thing called the Department of Justice after me. Instead, they wrote YouTube to get the content taken down. You bowed to pressure from these 5 U.S. senators. And he goes, and he's talking about how laws are written. And in the footnote, he references a bill is just a bill with a YouTube link to the video.
Oh my God.
So
great.
He is schooling YouTube on how laws are written.
With a YouTube video.
With a YouTube video of Schoolhouse Rock, a bill is just a bill.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So I read that and I start laughing. And I call that staffer back up, and I was like, this is funny. So a couple of months later, I have Austin Knudsen, he's our Attorney General on the podcast.
I got to interview him.
Great guy.
He really is.
And I was, we were talking on the before chat, and I'm like, oh my God, the Schoolhouse Rock thing was hilarious. He goes, yeah, we had fun with that one.
Oh my God, that's great. He was really cool to interview. All right, listen, we need to wrap things up because I have no idea where we're going, and I know we need to take a left at some place, and we need to find where our parking spot was so we can get back to it. How can people find the Rogue Banshee and For the Love of Guns podcast?
So on YouTube, it's the Rogue Banshee.
Yeah.
Just about all social media except for Instagram. There's a whole story behind that. It is the Rogue Banshee. On Instagram, it's the Rogue Banshee Media. Or you can hit my website at trb.fyi.
trb.fyi. I dig it. Jason, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Charlie.
This is a pleasure. I still want to come out to Montana.
You have to.
I haven't been there.
Hey, we can have hollow points in Montana.
I can have too.
Yeah, but when you had Aaron on, you were worried about if you had hollow points with you.
But when I had Aaron on, I was worried about hollow points because we were in New Jersey.
Exactly. Yes, I do watch Charlie's show.
I'm honored. I'm thinking about I should rebrand my show and be like I am the biggest small YouTube channel. Right? Yes. All right. Well, listen, we need to wrap things up because we do need to get back to. I don't even know where we're going.
We're looking for the high roller.
We're looking for the high roller, and we can't see anything because the buildings are tall. So, thank you guys for tuning in and watching the show. We're going to put some links to Jason's YouTube channel and his podcast down below. If you are not a member of the Second Amendment Foundation, you can join them at saf.org. And if you've watched the show this much, you should share it with friends because that is how we get the stagecoach across America. We shall see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.